What's up everyone, some guy here with another Alliance War video, Season 25, War number 10. We are versing against TRHUN. I don't think we've ever faced them before. They were Plat 1 last season, but as of right now, I think they are Plat 2 or top of Plat 2. But going on Path 5 here, we are versing against the Red Hulk on Ebb and Flow Knockdown. I don't think I've ever faced him here before, but it's a fairly easy Quake fight. Honestly, I think with you could even do this fight with probably Nick Fury or anyone maybe actually. You might get some energy or heat damage from parrying or from him hitting your block, but other than that, I don't see any troublesome with this defender on this node. It's a very simple Quake fight. You just gotta knock him down with a heavy attack when he's done concussed, or with any other champion as well to shut down the protection node. From there on, it's a very simple Quake and Shake fight. You just can't get hit, I guess. He doesn't even have any heat charges, so you don't hit him with Quake. So even if you do get hit by him, I don't think it will hurt that bad. But yeah, pretty simple fight with Quake. Moving to section 2, we have this Rhino on Ebb and Flow Intercept and Sadist. I will be using Nick Fury. It's a pretty simple fight with Nick Fury. I'm only using a health boost because I don't want to trigger any protection by accident. If you do trigger protection, it'll be 90% reduced damage, and at that point you would probably have to intercept, and we all know intercepting Rhino, he becomes unstoppable, and you probably take some damage, and he can get hit pretty hard, especially with some Furies and stuff. So also make sure you only parry him when you are close with him or close to him, so that way his medium, or he won't be able to, his medium dash won't trigger blockable. But other than that, I was gonna spam my SP1s, but I saw that the Disorient debuff pretty much was giving him like free willpower healing, so I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go with my SP3s to control his power. SP1 can be useful, the Disorient debuff, when shutting down protections, but I don't plan on intercepting him or shutting down protection, so I'm just gonna opt for the SP3 for the I guess more damage, and since SP3 won't trigger protection, and also to control his power. I do like to keep his power at level 1, that way I can bait out more specials to get more openings in, since I want to take as little block damage as I can, because I know if I do get into Nick Fury's second life, he will most likely trigger protection, just because of the class advantage and just how hard he hits in his second life there. Earlier right there, I thought I missed the timing for the dex on his SP1 because it's kind of weird spacing, but I just managed to do it, and I held block just to be safe, just so I don't go in and retaliate but actually eat the SP1 in the face. I think I have done that before, so I just wanted to play it safe. But yeah, it's a pretty simple fight. I am using light ending combos. The bleeds aren't doing that much damage, but it is ticking away little by little, so it does help. You just want to make sure you don't, whenever you do bait out his SP1, or whenever you are far away from him, you want to be able to kind of back up a little and wait for him to turtle up and then hit into his block. That way you can get closer to him and try and get more parries and reopenings, or like reparries and openings that way. That way you don't have to like risk with him being unblockable. But yeah, it's a pretty long fight. This one I think is only a rank 2, which is understandable because it's a Rhino. But I think I have seen a rank 3 Rhino in the war before. But yeah, not much to say. Just bait out his SP1s. Both of his specials are pretty easy to fully dex, and the bleed in the end finally kills him. A very long fight, a lot of combos. But yeah, I got the job done. Going to the next fight here, we have this Immortal Abomination on Ebb and Flow Intercept and Redoubled Determination. Very, very common placement. I see this guy on this node pretty much almost every war. I've died to him in the beginning a lot of times with the Warlock, just because sometimes when the defender is not running, or when the opponent is not running willpower, Warlock might not be the best option, just because you can't power drain, since they're not healing from the bleed or debuffs. Quake is a pretty simple fight. It's kind of a brainless fight. You just make sure, well, not exactly brainless, you just have to make sure you don't accidentally drop a heavy. I have done that before, and the heavy does create an hours boosted, and of course the heavy triggers protection, and it's a minus 90% damage reduction. At that point, you would have to intercept to get rid of protection, and we all know upon contact with Immortal Abomination, he has a chance of putting a poison debuff on you. And I've said this before, his poison debuff isn't that potent. The per tick isn't that high, but it's just the duration is so long. If he has a couple or three on you, it can really drain your health very slowly and gradually. If you're using Quake, it's probably pretty dangerous that you might get into the assassin's range, and so you'd have to race against time just to take him down before you get ticked down to assassin's range. But yeah, other than that, it's a pretty simple fight with Quake. Just shake it away and don't get hit. You can't play the Quake and Bake, just because even on parry he can put a poison debuff on you. So any contact he can put a poison debuff on you. So yeah, that is risk with Quake. You just have to, since she has no immunities. But other than that, it's a pretty safe fight with Quake. I don't think I've died with Quake. I might have in the beginning, like maybe the first or second time. Alright, moving to the mini-boss island here, we have this Hyperion on Rage and Return Policy. It's a very common placement on here. I usually don't take this side of the minis. Usually our other Officer Zero takes this path. I usually take the other side, but for this war, I will be going this side. I will be using Doom. I feel like some people may think it's a Doom trap, but as long as you're not using your SP1 or using your stagger too much, or nullifying too many buffs, you shouldn't have to worry too much about it. I think there might be better options than Doom, but Doom does work just because of how tanky he is. My first hit, I think, triggered Rage, which kind of sucked, but my plan is just to bank my SP3, or not bank my SP3, just save my SP3 and bait as many specials as I can from Hyperion, and then only use my SP3 if Hyperion gets to an SP3. But I feel like I'm gonna take a SP3 regardless, because if I use my SP3, I'll probably have to use my SP1, and it's gonna push him to an SP3, just because of all the rage and buffs that I'm gonna be nullifying with the SP1. And every time you nullify or stagger, he gains like more power than you steal, with Doom at least. So right now it's going pretty well. I am triggering some rage and stuff, but for the most part, oh yeah, I got kind of lucky there. The Quake and Nick Fury evade synergy saved me, so I kind of threw my SP3 out of panic, but I should have just waited. So now I have to throw the SP1, and it's gonna nullify a bunch of Furies, and it's gonna give him a bunch of power back, and he's gonna shoot right up to an SP3. Luckily, I was able to hit the damage reduction meter bar, and I also had the damage SP3 reduction boost as well. So that kind of saved me a little. Plus, I'm also able to regen a little bit from the adrenaline from 6 stars. So I all in all, I didn't take that much damage. Actually, I did take a good amount of chunk, 30%. Well, technically more than 30%. But from here on, I'm just gonna try and bait out as many specials as I can, and yeah, and I keep triggering Rage. The good thing about Hyperion is he has so much power gain that you don't really have to worry about the unblockable, or when he becomes unblockable, just because you can get a lot of openings from his special 1 or special 2. And I was pretty fortunate that even with 4 Furies on his SP3, I was able to survive pretty much most of it. Yeah, so that was pretty good. Doom is a fairly good option on here, as long as the AI is pretty cooperative, I think. Besides him, I'm not sure who else would be a good option. Maybe some other power control defenders, or someone who can tank SP3s back to back. But yeah, for the most part, it went pretty well. Could have been better, I guess, but I'll take the solo. Moving to my last fight here, we have this rank 2 Terrax on Hurt Locker, Power Focus 1, and some other notes I forget. But it doesn't matter with Quake. You can just Quake it away. Even with the rock field, most of the time when you're quaking in the beginning, at least at the start, you're pretty much dashing back most of the time and evading, and you won't be in his rock field range for long enough for you to gain any damage. It's when you get cornered, he will, but by that time he won't have any rock fields. It'll expire by then. Not much to say about this fight. You just have to just not get hit, I guess. Just play perfect Quake. Even if you get hit, I don't think it'll hurt that bad. I don't know too much about Terrax, to be honest. I just know he counters Doom pretty much, or they counter each other. It does have power focus 1, so I guess if you accidentally drop your heavy too many times, you can get an SP1. But other than that, you can probably just bait it out in the corner and move on. I don't think it would hurt that bad. But yeah, pretty simple fight. I'm sure Namor could have done just as well, but I just like using Quake because I just think it's a little easier. Unfortunately, we did lose this war. It was kind of uncalled for. I didn't really see it that coming. I think most of us lost motivation just because we're out of Masters. This does push us down to 11th place in Plat 1. I'm pretty sure we can still finish out the season Plat 1 for sure. But yeah, that is it for me. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys on the next one.